Alright, before anyone types Glock is boring in the comments, do hear me out. This isn't a fanboy list. This is the short list of Glock pistols that when everything goes sideways, the men I trust reach for without a second thought. People love to argue about optics and comps and shiny slides. That's noise. Reliability isn't a feature you market. It's something you earn round after round in bad weather or on bad days. So I went and found Glocks that kept showing up in real hands, comps who refused to switch, instructors who stopped recommending alternatives, and everyday carriers who sleep better with one on their hip. 10 guns, no filter. Each one has a reason to be called never fail. Some are duty workhorses, some are surprising carry winners, and one of these, it's a Glock most people get wrong. Stick tight. We start with the one that quietly won a bunch of trials this year, but the top spot will make even the Glock haters shut up. You ever watch a shooter crumble under pressure? I saw it. Hands shaking, mag slips, whole lane ready to laugh. Everybody figured the run was over, but that Glock didn't care. Fresh mag slammed in, trigger snapped, and the 34 Gen 5 barked back like nothing ever happened. Targets dropped, room went quiet. That's the difference between paper specs and a pistol that refuses to fold. This thing runs hot match loads, beat up reloads, and cheap steel that makes other guns choke. Doesn't flinch, doesn't stall. The long slide looks awkward till you see what it buys you. Extra sight radius, steadier aim, softer recoil. Mistakes you make with your hands don't show up on paper. It makes bad shooters look decent and good shooters dangerous. You won't pocket it, and it's not your everyday carry, but that's not the job. The job is showing up under pressure again and again without excuses. Ranges keep demo 34s because they survive more abuse than half the inventory. Competitors keep them because they deliver when the clock is cruel. It's not pretty and nor is it small. It just works when you need it most. And the next Glock? Smaller, meaner, built to bite. The Glock 45 is the kind of gun that makes 0 sense on paper until you shoot it. It's basically a Glock 19 slide sitting on a full-size Glock 17 frame. Some folks laughed at that, called it a part-spin pistol. But if you've spent time on the range, you already know. That full grip gives you better control than a 19 ever could, and the shorter slide means faster draws and less knack from concealment. You wouldn't expect a chunky duty-style frame to shoot this smooth, but it does. I've carried both the 17 and 19 over the years. I thought I had them figured out. Then I ran a box of 124 grain NATO through a buddy's G45, and it handled like it was built for recoil. The thing settles right back on target after every shot like it wants to help you win. You get Glock's Gen 5 upgrades, front slide serrations, and that marksman barrel. It's not fancy, but it runs cleaner than most of the overpriced plastic junk that people brag about online. It's not the coolest looking Glock out there, and it's not the most hyped either, but real shooters know. The G45 hits that perfect middle ground. Once you shoot one, you'll understand why so many comps are ditching their old duty pistols for this thing. It just works. People laugh at mouse guns until one swallows a hot mag and shuts the lane up. I watched a rookie tremble, jacket soaked, hand slipping, everyone bracing for the shit show. Then the first string happened and half the room shut its mouth. Quiet surprise beats loud promise every time, and tiny pistols pull that trick more than you think. That pocket pistol was a Glock 26. Small, stubborn, and ugly as sin, but built to keep firing. We fed it whatever the training bay had. Cheap range trash, mixed brass, sloppy reloads. It just shrugged it off. Even when the rookie yanked and flinched, the 26 kept putting holes where he aimed. The ergonomics aren't luxury, but they're honest. Recoil snaps back quick, and follow-ups stay usable. In tight spaces, it behaves like a tool, not a toy. Range owners keep a 26 in the demo box because it teaches basics without excuses. You don't praise it for the looks, you praise it for not folding when the night gets stupid. Hand it to a sweaty driver or a nervous carrier and watch them calm. Small package, same job. It refuses to quit. Stick around though, next Glock is smaller and meaner. If you want one pistol to keep dragging out and arguing about for the rest of your life, this is it. The 19 sits everywhere for a reason. Balance that don't lie, capacity that covers your back, and a forgiving nature that works for rookies and old hands alike. Gen 5 cleaned up enough rough edges, grip, feed, and slide to stop the drama before it starts, and that quiet polish matters when you're running drills late and tired. Give it a job and it does it. Conceal, fight, and teach. Instructors stash them on the demo table because students learn faster with something that forgives mistakes and still prints decent groups. Patrol guys don't swap theirs for flash, they swap for things that stop making trouble. I've seen 19s run through rental bins, hot courses, sloppy reloads, and still come back putting honest hits on the paper. That track record isn't hype, mind you. It's a culture of people choosing something that works when the lights go low and the noise gets loud. This is the baseline every other gun gets measured against. Most get swallowed in comparison, and that's fine. The 19 just keeps doing its job. Stick around. The next one's bigger, and men take it on the long watches for a reason. Slim pistols used to be sacrifices. You'd pay for concealment with capacity and control, but not anymore. The 43X carved that compromise away. Slim enough to vanish under a t-shirt, but generous enough in the grip to get real purchase. That makes it one of those rare pistols you can forget you're carrying until you have to use it. Glock found a way to make a compact stack feel like something you can drive fast. I've seen carriers slow down and then stop arguing about small Glocks after a week with this one. Follow-ups stay honest, reloads fall clean, and the grip gives enough control that panic doesn't become a catastrophe. It runs brass from cheap range boxes and eats carry loads without asking for favors. It vanishes in an AIWB or appendix rig and never nags you about comfort. That practicality is the point. Carry with confidence and still shoot like you trained. It earns that trust every time you draw and press the trigger under pressure. If you want low-profile confidence without getting punished at the range, this is your answer. It carries like a whisper and fights like it matters. Period. No excuses. Every single time, no compromise. This is the gun you bring when you're hunting the things that bite back. The Glock 20 isn't for the timid. It's a 10mm delivery system with guts. In a room full of quick nines, this one announces itself. Louder, meaner, honest about what it's here to do. You don't fool around with it. You respect the fact it doesn't pretend. It also flat out works. Folks mount lights on it, run it from the truck, and take it into country where soft rounds laugh at them. It punches through the stuff that makes smaller calibers complain. Run it on hot loads, run it on junk, hand it to someone who depends on reach and knockdown. It just keeps feeding and keeps printing under solid hits. That stubborn following didn't happen because it looks cool. It happened because when stakes are real and you need presence, the 20 returns the favor every time. You don't pick a Glock 20 for comfort. You pick it because you want a statement that will answer with action. Heavy, loud, ugly in the best possible way. Reliable and honest. Bring one to the places others won't, and when the night gets serious, you'll be glad you did. Don't expect apologies, expect results. And next up, we talk about the slim carry that still surprises men. Take a full-size grip, slap on a compact slide, and watch the internet lose its mind. That mismatch is the idea behind the 19X, a full hand frame with a carry-ready slide that somehow behaves like it belongs. On paper, it looks like compromise, but in your hand, it becomes a tool. In the lane, you feel what that geometry buys. The long grip anchors your hand so follow-ups come back honest, while the shorter slide shortens the path to sight and keeps draws tidy. Trainers hand these to students when they want reproducible habits and not excuses. Vets carry them because the balance soaks recoil and makes extended strings less punishing. We ran them on duty mags, sloppy reloads, and hot practice loads. The pistol kept feeding. It doesn't fake stability, it earns it. It's not flashy, it's a sensible answer to a real problem. The 19X calms mechanics so you can focus on the fight. When the night gets busy and your hands tire, that design keeps you honest. Practicality saves lives, and this one's built to do exactly that. No nonsense ever. Do stick around though, because the next one's bigger and hits back hard. Back when agencies wanted more punch than a 9mm, the Glock 22 answered the call. The 40 S&W era made a lot of promises, and the 22 delivered them without getting cute about it. It's carried years in patrol holsters, taken abuse, and kept doing the job. That pedigree matters more than marketing. You can argue cartridges until you're blue, but the 22 earned its stripes right on the street. Under stress, people wanted weight on impact and a pistol that would run through duty loads and trash ammo alike, and the 22 did exactly that without drama. I've seen trade-ins that looked like they'd been run into the dirt, cleaned them, and the pistol still stacked honest groups. It's the kind of service gun that earns scars, keeps paperweight light, and gets left in racks because it simply worked when others needed pity. Times change and calibers shift, but the 22's place in history is carved from hard use and practical results. That grit is exactly why it belongs on this list. There's only two left now. One's a full-sized workhorse, and the other one's a little original that started the whole language. Respect earned, not given. Remember that, period. You don't carry this for style. You carry it because you've seen gear fail when it mattered, because you've watched men swear by tools that kept them breathing. The Glock 17 Gen 5 doesn't beg for attention, it earns quiet trust. Leave it forgotten in a holster, drag it through mud, shove it in a trunk, and then hand it to a man who needs something simple and true. We beat on these in weather and in anger, sand, salt, and sweat. Fed through the same cycles, and the pistol kept answering. Replacements come and go, trend pieces and pretty plastics, but the 17 keeps feeding and won't choke on garbage mags or hot loads. That steady return is what trainers count on, why departments put them in racks and stop talking about them. There's value in a tool that keeps working without promises. When the night gets loud and hands get tired, you want a gun that makes no excuses. Hand me that 17 and I can sleep easier. Not fancy or loud, but just the kind of thing that keeps a man alive every damn time. You ask me what to carry when everything goes to hell? I'll show you this and say, just don't lose it. They argue about small pistols until they have to pull one from a holster that matters. The 43 doesn't try to be everything. It keeps to the point. Simple, concealable, and honest when you ask it to be. That lack of drama is its strength. It fits where bigger guns won't, and it doesn't complain about the job. In a fight, simplicity is survival. No gimmicks, no extra nonsense to tangle your hands or cloud your head. Just a single stack 9 that disappears on the belt and answers when pressed. I've watched carriers wear these for months, sweat and all, and the pistol kept giving the same reply. Clean hits, repeatable snaps, no excuses, and just keeps working. When you need something that won't add problems to a bad night, the 43's rhythm is a rare thing. That honesty on a tiny platform is why it sits at the top. People chase flashy tech and forget that mechanics win. The 43 tells the truth every time you draw it. There's one more worth mentioning. It's not big or even loud, but every instructor I know keeps one tucked somewhere. That's no accident. Some bonuses don't wear a label. You want one punch that ends arguments. On the trail, in a truck, or when the night gets sharp, some problems don't answer to pretty little pistols. Hand someone the heavy hitter and things shut the hell up. That's the point. Not finesse, but an honest punch that stops work. Call the Glock 30 or 30S. This compact 45 is ugly, loud, and perfectly obeys. We ran it through brush runs, torque on truck floors, and duty boxes loaded with hot rounds. It simply ate 'em and spat out hits. The recoil bites, yeah, but it's a clean snap that dumps energy where it counts. Follow-ups are hard, but usable. Men who need reach carry it because it actually moves the fight's math. One good hit changes the conversation. It's not for weekend toys. Don't pick it if you want polite range time and soft groups. Pick it if you plan to be serious and want gear that answers when tests get real. Old-timers laugh until they borrow one and keep it. Keep one in a truck, a kit, or a drawer when smoke smells different. Heavy, honest, and it never makes up excuses. They call this the Slim Father for a reason. Sits where the 43 and the 19 meet and refuses to apologize. Thin like a summer carry, long like a proper sight picture. It rides like nothing and points like something heavier. Trainers pocket one when they want reach without the bulk. And guys who carry for a living laugh last when they tuck one and don't miss a beat. This pistol hides easy and shoots truer than its profile suggests. Give it a week on the belt and the argument stops. Follow-up stay honest. The longer sight radius forgives small errors and reloads fall clean when you need them to. It doesn't pretend to be a full-sized workhorse, but you get a slice of that stability without lugging a brick. Feed it cheap range trash or a tuned carry round and it keeps eating. Quiet, steady, and without drama. That's why this is the bonus. It's not flashy or loud, but the one instructors reach for when they want a practical answer to a real problem. Someone borrows it and doesn't give it back because it solves the compromise. Carry comfort with real aim. Keep it tucked when the night finds you. It won't brag, but it'll do the job. 10 Glocks. 10 that didn't flinch, didn't stutter, didn't back down when it mattered. I've seen plenty that claim that title. These are the ones that earned it in my hands. I've put my hands on these and watched them eat box after box without even quitting. That's why they made the list. But here's the part I care about. What do you trust? Drop it in the comments because I'll call it straight. I'm Steve, and you've just watched the Glocks that never failed. Stick around, because next time, I'm showing you the pistols everybody mocked until they outsold Glock. You won't want to miss that.